The crystalline halls of the Galactic Council chamber trembled with an energy that had nothing to do with the station's gravitational stabilizers. Ambassador Zixter of the Valkyrie Consortium watched his three-fingered hands shake as he clutched the data tablet displaying humanity's latest response, or rather, their lack thereof. "This is unprecedented," High Chancellor Mordeth announced, her voice carrying the weight of 7,000 years of diplomatic tradition. "In the entire history of the Galactic Council, no species has simply ignored our summons." Julia Martinez sat in the observation deck of the human vessel Defiance, her dark eyes fixed on the massive space station that housed the Council. As the ship's communications officer, she had been the one to receive and summarily delete the Council's 14th attempt at contact in as many hours. "They're panicking," she observed, watching the frantic movement of diplomatic shuttles darting between the station's docking bays. "Look at that. I've never seen so much traffic around that place." Oscar Chen, the Defiance's captain, stood beside her with his arms crossed. His jaw was set in that familiar expression of quiet determination that had earned him both respect and concern from his crew. "Good. Let them panic. Maybe then they'll understand that humanity doesn't negotiate from a position of weakness." The crisis had begun 3 weeks ago when the Council had demanded that humanity surrender their newly established colonies. In the outer reaches territories the Council claimed belonged to their protected zone. For centuries, the Council had operated on a simple principle: new species were expected to comply, to bend, to negotiate away their interests for the privilege of joining galactic society. Humanity had said no, not "let's discuss this," or "perhaps we can compromise." Just no. Ambassador Zixter replayed the single transmission Earth had sent in response to the Council's demands. It was infuriatingly brief. "Humanity declines your terms. Further communication on this matter is unnecessary." "They must be bluffing," insisted Councillor Vexenar, his scales rippling with agitation. "Their fleet is minuscule compared to our combined forces. They have 47 combat vessels. We have 47,000, but that wasn't entirely accurate anymore, and everyone in the chamber knew it. The humans had been busy." Julia's console chirped with an incoming message from their scout ships. "Oscar, you need to see this." Oscar leaned over her shoulder reading the report. A smile slowly spread across his face. Well, looks like the Thornian Empire just withdrew their ships from the Council blockade." "What?" Julia's eyes widened. "All of them. Every single one. And according to this, they've opened a direct communication channel with Earth." Oscar straightened, his smile growing wider. Smart move on their part. The Thornians weren't the first to break ranks, and they wouldn't be the last. Humanity's refusal to negotiate had created something the Council had never anticipated: uncertainty. And in that uncertainty, individual species began to see opportunity. While the Council postured and threatened, Earth had been busy making deals, bilateral agreements with individual species that bypassed the Council entirely. They offered technology, trade routes, and perhaps most importantly, the promise of partnership rather than subservience. In the Council chamber, panic was indeed breaking out. "The Thornians have betrayed us," Vexenar hissed. "They've signed an independent treaty with the humans." "As have the Cathari," another councillor added grimly. "And I've just received word that the Planari Confederation is in direct talks with Earth." High Chancellor Mordeth felt the weight of her position more heavily than ever before. The Council had maintained order for millennia through a careful balance of collective power and diplomatic pressure, but the humans had found the system's critical flaw: it only worked if everyone believed it was the only option. "We must respond with force," Vexenar demanded. "Crush them before more defections occur, and risk open war." Mordeth countered. "Do you understand what these humans have accomplished in 3 weeks? They've fractured our united front without firing a single shot." Oscar watched the Council station through the viewport, his expression thoughtful. "Julia, open a channel to Earth's command. Tell them the Council's coalition is collapsing faster than projected." Already composing the message, Julia replied, her fingers flying across her console. "Admiral Okafor will be pleased." This was exactly what she predicted would happen. "The art of war," Oscar murmured, "is not in fighting battles but in making them unnecessary." On the station, Ambassador Zixter slumped in his seat as another notification arrived. The Savari had withdrawn. The Moktin were requesting direct talks with humanity. Even the usually stalwart Grenics were making inquiries about Earth's terms for independent treaties. "Perhaps," he said quietly, "we should have listened when the humans said negotiation was unnecessary. They weren't threatening us. They were stating a fact." High Chancellor Mordeth understood then, with a clarity that came too late. The humans hadn't refused to negotiate because they were belligerent or foolish. They'd refused because they'd already won. By the time the Council issued its demands, Earth had spent months establishing relationships, demonstrating their value as partners rather than and creating alternatives to the Council's monopoly on galactic affairs. Julia noticed movement on her scanner. Oscar, we're being hailed. It's the Council, official diplomatic frequency. Oscar raised an eyebrow. After all those messages we ignored, now they're using the proper channels. Progress. He paused, considering. Let them wait another hour, then accept their call an hour. Julia grinned. You're cruel. No, Oscar corrected. I'm teaching them a valuable lesson. Humanity doesn't jump when summoned. We engage when ready, as equals. As the Defiance maintained its position, neither advancing nor retreating, the Galactic Council finally understood what it meant to encounter a species that refused to play by rules designed to keep them subordinate. The panic in the crystalline halls wasn't about military might or territorial disputes. It was about the terrifying realization that the old order was ending, and humanity had dismantled it simply by refusing to accept that it ever applied to them in the first place. An hour later, when Oscar finally accepted the Council's call, his first words set the tone for everything that followed. Thank you for your patience. Now then, shall we discuss what humanity is willing to offer the Council? The age of human diplomacy had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same.